This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, but at some other point we want to create a subplots. With respect to each subplot, we want to visualize a single plot. In that cases, you need to know how to create a subplots. So subplot means in the main plot there may be again subplots. With respect to every subplot, we are going to plot a separate plot. Okay, so let's see how to create a subplots. So we are going to create a subplots by using matplotlib. So for that you should know how to import a matplotlib and what is the method that going to be useful to create the subplots. So basically the method we can use is matplotlib.pyplot.subplot. So dot subplot will create a subplots for you. So this is the method to create a subplot. So for that you need to know, for that we should import the matplotlib at the initial step. So try to import it. Import matplotlib.pyplot as plt and try to run it. Okay, we are going to import the matplotlib. So after that we need to create a subplots. Let's see how to create a subplot. So plt dot, the method we have to create a subplot is subplot. So when you have a single subplot to create it, you can use subplot as a method. But when you have some other one or more subplots you want to create, you can use subplots as a method. So you can observe here there is a subplot method and also we have subplots method. Okay, so I just want to create a single subplot, so you can use subplot. So the name itself subplot means it is having only single subplot. So it will take only single subplot. And before passing any parameters, let's see what are the parameters that takes for this method. So it will takes the parameters is arguments and keyword arguments. So you might already know what are the keyword arguments. In the function you should know how to define a keyword arguments. So why we can use this double stars? You can see in the description, in the signature window you can see this double star is when it comes to functions, why we can use this function variables as a double stars. So yes, when you have a double star means it is a keyword length arguments. That means whenever you don't know the length of keywords along with the values, you can use double stars. And what if you are using single star? What it signifies? If you mention is a single star, what it signifies? So single star means you doesn't know, at sometimes you doesn't know the length of values. So in that case you can use single star. By using single star you can pass any number of positional values. And when it is a double star means it will take along with key as well as values, so that it will called as a keyword arguments. So it will take some kind of arguments and then keyword arguments, and finally it will generate, it can add a subplot to the current figure. Okay, so and also you can see in the below it will have a signature like a subplot of n number of rows and n number of columns and then index. Okay, that means the arguments in the star arguments means you can pass these three parameters if you want. And these three parameters is, first one is number of rows that you want to generate it, and number of columns and the position of it. Okay, this position you can call as index. Okay, and also you can see here the subplot of position, you can specify one also. It is not mandated to specify arguments as a 3. If you can also specify single, that is a position. If you mention a single argument, that will consider it is in a position or index. And if you see, and then double star keyword arguments. Now let's see how to pass it. If I mention 1, so what it raises, you can see it will raise some kind of error, that is value error. So here it will raise an error like single argument to subplot must be 3-digit integer, not 1. That means the subplot should be taken a 3-digit integer. not a 1. So we are just passing a 1. So it will not consider that 1 because the default syntax for this is it can take only 3 arguments. So you can specify 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. What it means when you mention that 1, 2, 3. So the first position can point out that rows, and then next position is columns, and the next position is index or position. So that means it will generate a single row with 2 columns. So a single row with 2 columns. But when you mention 3 means, so it is having only single row and 2 columns. That means we don't have a third position in it. Now let's see. It will raise an again error, that is value error. So the number must be lesser than the number. So that means we are taking the row number as 1. That means it will generate a single row and 2 columns. So the third position, whatever you pass the third position, the index value should be lesser than these 2 rows and columns. So this index position always lesser than this rows as well as columns. Okay. So if I pass 1, now you can able to see it will generate a single row and 2 columns. So that means here you just observe how to generate a subplot. While visualizing, you can get more clarity. You can just observe here how it is generating. So it will generate a single plot like this, and in the so it will generate at the position of 1 as a single plot, single subplot. If I want to generate a subplot in the second position also, you can pass it like again. If you want to generate a subplot in the second position also, you can generate it like single row and second column, and in the second index you want to generate a subplot, you can run it. Now you can see you will get a 2 subplots like this. So this 1 comma 2 comma 1 will point out this first subplot, and 1 comma 2 comma 2 will point out the second subplot. So how it going to be point out means it will generate as a subplot means the first parameter will shows you that it is a row, and the second one is columns. That means it will generate. See, if I generate only 1 comma 2, it will raise an again error because we need to specify the index parameter also, because it will must and shouldly takes 3 parameters. Okay, so when you plot like this, it will generate a single row. Inside the single row, it will generate a 2 columns. So this is a first column and second column. And again, I want to display a subplot in first column so that I can pass 1, so that it will generate this subplot. And for the second one, if I pass 1 comma 2 comma 2, that means in the single row, second column, first row of second column, I want to generate again a subplot so that I can mention 1 comma 2 comma 2, so that it will display a subplot in the position of 2 also, like this. But don't get confused, you will get more clarity when you use a programming to plot it. Okay, like this you can generate a subplot. Now you can see, yeah, I want to plot something in this first subplot. Let's see how to plot it. So for that, okay, let's plot plt dot plot of, in the position of first index, I want to plot a single plot like you can pass 1 comma 2 comma 3, and then you can pass, we need to specify x and y values in the plot. Now you can get in the first subplot, you will get a plot like this with respect to x and y values. Whatever the values we have specified before the comma, those are all taken as a x value, and after comma, those are all taken as a y values. So with respect to these values, it will generate a subplot in the first index. So this index in this 1 comma 2 comma 2 comma 1 index, we are generating one plot with by using this code. Now if I want to generate a plot with respect to this first row second column of second index, then you can plot it like lt dot, I want to plot something by using scatter plot. So you can specify the values again, np dot, so I want to plot something. Okay, let's take values 3 comma 4 comma 5, and the length of x and y should be same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now you can see. So in the second subplot, you will get a scatter plot like this, and in the first subplot, you will get a plot like this, a line plot like this. So like this, you can generate a subplots by using subplot method. And when you use subplot, it will generate only single row. It will generate only single row. And if I change subplot as 2, in the row value as 2, you will get some kind of error. Let's see. Plt dot subplot of, if I pass row value as 2 and then column value as 1, and you can specify the third value also. If I pass third value as 1, it will generate, it will generate only single plot. For generating a single plot, you can use subplot. Okay, that means it will generate totally 2 rows and single column. So after that, you can use only, you want to display only first position, so that it will display only first position of subplot. If you want to get that second subplot also, you can use plt dot subplot of 2, 1, 2. So totally it having 2 rows and single column. And after that, in the second position, you want to generate a subplot, you can give 2, 1, 2. So it will generate another subplot for this, like this. If I pass again 2, plt dot subplot of 2, 1, 3, can it takes, or it will raise an error to plot it? If I pass plt dot subplot of 2, 1, 3, means it is having 2 rows and 1 column, and we are mentioning the position is 3. That means up to now we are already filled with 2 rows with 1 axis like this and two column like this. And if I mention 3, means it doesn't have 3 third index, because we have only single column with respect to 2 rows. And this index position should always lesser than this rows and column size. We're already seen that, right? So you will get error like the number should be lesser than always 1 and number. That means the number, the index position should always lesser than the row size and column size. Like that, you can generate a subplots based on your application. Okay. Now, if I want to generate a subplot, a kind of bar plot here, so plt dot bar of, there you can specify a values that you want to generate. Here, if I mention a list of values like x, y, and then z. So for this also we need to specify the height. I take height equals to. So based on the length of height, it will generate some kind of bar plot in the first index, first position. And if I want to generate a second subplot with some random values, so that I can input numpy here, numpy as np, and you can plot plt dot which plot? Let's use histogram plot. So hist of, here I'm using random values to distribute the values to observe the changes with histogram. I'm generating a values with the random module from NumPy. So np dot random dot rand int of 1 to 10. Now you can see that all random values should lies within a range of 0 to 1. Up to now, can we discuss this histogram plot? Can you cover this histogram plot? Let me know. Yeah, we already covered this histogram plot based on the density of how the data should be distributed. In that cases, we can use this histogram. Based on this, we can observe the data should be distributed how. So if I don't mention any bins with respect to histogram, it will defaultly generate bins up to 10. It will generate bins up to 10. Instead of that, I just want to mention my bins manually. So I can use, I just pass bins as 4 so that it will generate, it will distribute the data based on that bins values. So if I make 4 also, you can see all the values should lies between the 0 to 1. So, and also here you can see the 4 bins are from 7.5 to 7.75. We have only 0 distributions. That means the random values are taken like that. If I increase the range here, like 25. In that cases also it will generate random integer, which is from 23 to 23.2. If I pass 5. If I pass 5 also, every time the value, the random data should lies between 0 to 1 to 25. So after that, it will generate in 10.5 to 10.7. We don't have any data. Yeah, at every time it will generate only single value. That's why I'm getting only one value. We need to pass one more parameter. So in between 1 to 25, I want to generate 10 values. So I need to mention the thought parameter also. So when I mention thought parameter and when I mention bins as 5, with respect to that, it will generate 5 bins. And you can observe that 5 bins data distribution. In between 4 to 8, we have totally 3 values. So, and also in between 8 to 12, we have totally 2. And in the 12 to 16, we have totally 2 data are distributed. Like this, you can able to observe these bins of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So in this in this step, you can observe 2. 1, 2, 3. You can observe 3 values in between these. Okay, like this, you can generate a subplots based on your application. So when you use subplot, so when you use subplot, it will takes only it will generate a single plot only. But sometimes if you want to generate a one or more subplots, you can use subplots as a method. Let's see so that you can understand the difference between subplot as well as subplots. So if I want to generate a subplot, plt dot subplots of, I'm just taking new method, that is subplots. And inside these subplots, you can mention how many rows and how many columns that you want to generate. So if I mention 2, 3 means it will generate 2 rows and 3 columns like this. So it will generate 2 rows and 3 columns. If I mention again 1 means it will generate 2 rows and 3 columns, and with respect to first position. So what happened? So with respect to first position, it's going to be plotted something. So and also we need to specify like as an array. One is not valid value for ShareX. Supported values are all row, column, no. Yeah, when you use subplots, you need to specify or either number of rows and number of columns only. We are not passing third parameter. So so like this, you can generate a kind of subplots, and based on the subplots, if you want to generate a if you want to generate a plots with respect to position of it, you can specify it after before plotting. Let's see how to apply it. So for this, I'm just taking a random data before it. Let's take with some other variables like x equals to. I'm going to generate a random data here, np.array of np.random dot randint of 100, and out of this 100, I want to generate a 10 values with respect to x variable, and I'm going to take with y variable. So here also I'm taking same range 1 to 10. I need to generate a 10 values. Okay, and now now I'm going to plot it by using subplots. So already I'm generating a subplots with 2 by 3. That means I have totally 2 rows and 3 columns. So it is a hue. Let's take 2 by 2. So it will generate 2 rows and 2 columns like this. And if I want to plot a first position of if I want to plot something in the first position of it, now you can pass something like, again you need to specify that subplot here, on which plot you want to specify the plot. So for that you can specify plt dot subplot, and the second position in the 2 rows 2 columns data I want to plot something in the first position. So you can use like this. So plt dot subplot of 2 comma 2 comma 1. So in that position you need to specify which data you want to plot. So I can specify plt dot plot of, so I'm just using a line plot to plot in the first position. So like x comma y, and I can use some kind of label color also. For color it is a line plot, so I can use simple color like R, and I can specify the shape also, and I'm using shape as a star. You can specify color and shape with the codes, and then you can use label. Label is label attribute is there for plot. For me it's not getting. Let's see. Label equals to, it is a line plot. So when you use plot in the first position, you can observe a kind of plot, and it is not a line plot, and these values are randomly generated. So we are not able to generate a line plot for this. When you have a linear relation or polynomial relation, when you have a linear relation between the x and y, we can use this line plot. But those values of x and y is random. That means that doesn't have a linear relation between them. So that you can observe when you use line plot also, it is not right, it will not show you a kind of line. That means it is a random values. So instead of line plot I'm just using scatter, because we are using a random values. For scatter it doesn't have label, I think so. Counter x comma y square root not supported for the input types, and inputs could not be safely supported types according to the casting. Okay, so when it is a random data for scatter also, it's not going to be generated. If I use I'm just changing these values, x and y values, because when it is a random data, when you want to plot that random data, it's not following the order because they are random, so that it's not going to be displayed when you use scatter also. Let's change this here. nb dot array dot, yeah, by using x and x we can do it because we have same values in the x, but when it scatter means we need to specify some other attributes. So let's see some other possibilities. Random dot random dot 1 to 10 5. Yeah, we are getting an array in the x. So after generating a random values, we are going to store it in array. So in that case is also the array value sure not same. Let's pass array dynamical. 1 2 3 4 is my values. 1 2 3 4 5. And here the values are like 1, 4, 7, and 10. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X and Y should be same length, same size only and concentrate. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so it is having only 4 in the X. So for scatter, I'm using only X to X. If I use X comma X also, it will raise this in a safe method problem. What is it? Values not supported on the input types, and these inputs could not be safely forced to safe. If I use plot, so it will generate some kind of line plot here with the red color and star. And now if I want to generate a second subplot, you can specify subplot of 2 here, subplot of 2. And in this you want to perform, if I want to perform bar, okay. Thank you. Thanks for your response. Who are responding? I forgot to change this. That's why I think I didn't get scatter plot. If I change here is a scatter. When I scatter again, I'm getting error. If you use X and Y also, it will raise an error. Scatter of X comma Y and dot story. Color doesn't matter. Yeah, you need to remove this color so that it will gives me the result. Yeah. So if I when I mention that color and indication of stars, so it will raise an error like a kind of safe error. So you can remove that marker and color so that it will not raise an error. Now if I pass label equals to line plot, I didn't get label. If I use legend, plt dot legend, it will display that label once, right? Scatter plot. For line plot, for line plot, this label attribute is removed in now. But before it will using that label attribute also for line plot. And also you can specify subplot for third position and also fourth position. So that in the third position, I want to plot a bar plot, so I can use bar here, bar with respect to X and Y, and it is a bar plot. And in the fourth position, you just change this position of subplots. Okay, and X and Y bar H. So that you can generate a number of subplots in between the main subplots of with 2 rows and 2 columns like this. And you will get some kind of label names also on the top of it. And for line plot, this label attribute doesn't exist. That's why it's not showing you. Okay. So like this, you can generate any number of subplots by using subplot method and subplots method. So instead of, okay. So am I clear up to this, all of you? Generating a subplots. So by using legend only, you can get these labels. When you give plt.legend, so that only you will get the label names. If I make it as comments, okay, when you make it as comment also you will get it, but you can specify the position here, I think so. So you can pass legend equals to labels on the top or left, or you can specify that labels here by using legend label via method. So place a legend on the axis. So this will place a kind of operation is the right operation. Okay, legend will act like a name of the label. Top right. I think it is a kind of alignment previously, but now all the matplotlib version is updated. Yeah. Okay. So instead of legend also you will get the label names. You don't worry. But previously when you want to get the label names, you need to make sure this legend should be passed. ELT lot legend. Yeah, some plots doesn't exist the label, right? So some plots doesn't exist the label parameter. If you see this in the line plot, you don't have this line plot as a label name when you run it. If you want to get that label name here, you can use legend so that it will generate. And this bar horizontal graph also doesn't exist label. So if you want to get this label name on the plot, you can use plt.legend. That is the purpose of it. Based on the legend, you can generate that. You will get that label name on particular plot. Okay, if it is a scatter plot or bar plot, you will directly get these label names. See, you will get we are passing in the line plot the markers as star. So with respect to that star only, it will generate a line. So if you won't mention this star, it will generate a line. Now you can see the shape of line. So defaultly, if you don't mention any marker, it will generate a kind of plot as a lines only. So instead of that, if I mention my shape of plot as star, means it will generate a star kind of plot like is a line. If you don't want and you want to observe only line plot, you can you can remove that star so that you can observe only plot as a line. Okay. So now let's generate one more subplot by using pie chart. So plt.subplot, because generating subplots is taking very important role in upcoming sessions. So plt.subplot, I have only single row and two columns. In the first position, I want to generate a pie chart. Plt.pie is the method to generate a pie plot. So then you can specify the values that you want to generate. If I pass 20, 30, 40, and my labels are, if I don't mention labels, let's see. So it will automatically generate a plot, a kind of pie chart in a single subplot at the first position. And if you want to generate another subplot in the second position, you can generate it. So in the second position, if you want to generate bar graph, you can generate it like bar h. So when you mention bar h, you need to specify the width. When you use bar, you need to specify the height. So width is like 0.5. So like this, it will generate a kind of two subplots. First one is related to pie chart and second one is bar horizontal plot. If you want to specify the title labels as well as some kind of pointouts text also, if you want to make it, you can place it, right? So let's see how to pass that also. I want to mention the labels also. For that, you can pass labels is the key parameter. So with respect to that, you can specify the labels, and we have a group of data like 3, so you need to specify the length of labels with respect to that data length. So I can take it as length as label as first one is Python. Let's consider first label as Python and the second consider label as Java, and the third one is R. Now you will get some kind of labels on it, and if you want to pass some kind of text here, and if you want to mention a color also, you can specify it in bar graph, right? So in the pie chart also, you can specify the colors. And now if I want to change my color of bar graph, you can use color parameter, color equals to, and you can specify the list of colors with respect to the length of data. We have totally 3 length of data. Let's change data. So here I'm taking colors as red and magenta and black. For black we have a K. Now you can see it will generate it like this based on our data, and you can specify the text on the bar plot also, right? So if you want to make a text on it, you can use plt.text, plt.text, and you can specify in the 20th position, in the 20th 20 comma 20 position, if I pass as m1, let's see. So text missing one required position arguments. So I have to specify the next parameter also. 20, and then if I times 5. So on that particular position, it will generate text as m1, but I didn't get it. I pass 4. Yeah, you can get this here and the top. So let's give values as 10 instead of 20. Yeah, 0 should be placed at the first position. 0, 20, 10. Yeah, now can get. So in the 0th position of 20, I will get m1 as a text. So like this, you can pass the text also in the bar graph. And 0 to 30, 0 to 34. So m2, let's make it text as m2, and So 0,49. You can pass text as M3. The position of it is far away from me. Okay. So like this, you can pass the text also, and let's pass the label. Label equals to and it is a label only. So label it is bar graph, but we are not getting that label. So that you can specify legend plt dot legend. Now you can see you will get a label on the top of it. Okay, like this you can generate a subplots based on your perspective. Okay, am I clear how to generate a subplots? Guys, respond me. Is it is clear? Creating a subplot in Matplotlib. Next, we will see we have some other method to creating a subplot. That is, every time if you want to add a subplot, you can use one another method other than subplots or subplot. That is add underscore subplot. So now let's see how to use that. So for that, you need to specify a figure, one kind of variable I am taking, that is figure. So there you can specify figure is a one method. So by using that figure, you can specify the height and width of your figure. So plt dot figure. So I'm not mentioning any height and width. Defaultly, it is having some kind of height, default width and default height. So a figure size, defaultly there is none. So based on so defaultly doesn't mention any kind of size. If you want to mention any size, you can specify it. Like if I mention 3,10, and if I give fig means, it will generate a kind of object. So what it tries is need to specify like parenthesis. Int argument must be string, a bytes of object, not a tuple. So let's remove it. Defaultly does it having some kind of size. So let's see with respect to that size of it, if you want to create a subplots, you can create it. And in that figure, I want to generate a 3 subplots. So for that, I'm just using 3 variables, that is ax1 and ax2 and ax3. So these are all 3 variables that I'm taken. With respect to these 3 variables, I'm going to create a subplots in this figure. So for this ax1, I'm generating a kind of a new method like figure dot. So add underscore subplot is a one method that we have. So figure dot add underscore. Doesn't show me the plot of to come out. That means we are generating this axis one subplot in the position of first. I'm going to generate it with axis 2 and axis 3 also, and this axis 2 in the second index and axis ax3 in the third index. So that you can observe here, it will generate totally 3 subplots by generating a figure, and with respect to defaultly the figure doesn't have any size. So, and with respect to that figure, we need to add a new subplots. So by passing the parameters, it will generate the subplots like this in the second row. Inside it is a kind of 2 comma 2 comma 2 by 2. Totally it have 4, but out of 4 we just want to create only 3 subplots. So for that we are mentioning what are the variables. Those variables are ax1 and ax2 and ax3, and we need to specify that values of, so that it will generate the subplot. So let's see how to pass the values for that ax1 and ax2 and ax3. So in this yeah, in the 2 comma 2 comma 1 position I want to plot a line plot. So I can use plt dot plot of, so this is a kind of random plot, random dot. So we're already importing NumPy, so we can use NumPy to generate a random integers by using rand_n method. So it will generate a random values uh, up to the range of -2 or something. Rand_n will generate a value 0 to 1 only, I think so. And you can specify the number of values also. If I mention 50, it will generate a kind of values a 50. And finally, I want to generate a cumulative sum for these values, 50 random values. So I can use dot cum sum is a method to calculate the cumulative sum of it. And I want to display this plot with the color of black and the markers as, okay, defaultly I just want to generate a line plot, so I don't use markers. Now let's see. So it will generate some kind of plot, a line plot, so in the position of 1. So, and how it is generating, we are just generating a random values, a 50 random values by using rand_n. So it will generate random values between the range of 0 to 1, -0 to 1. So now after getting that, I just want to calculate the cumulative sum of it, and finally I'm generating that values with the color of k. Okay. So, and inside the second position, I want to generate a histogram plot, so that I can use directly like ax2 dot hist of. Instead of plt dot hist, you can use ax2 dot hist also. Both work same. And you can specify the values to generate a plot. So I'm using random values here to generate random dot rand n. So here I'm generating random values with rand_n method. Totally I want to generate 100 random values. And here I'm going to mention bins as 20. I'm generating 20 bins for generating of this 100 random values. And you can specify the color of it by passing color parameter. So color equals to, you can specify the color I want to generate is yellow. Okay, and in the third position I want to generate a scatter plot. So I can use instead of plot, you can directly use ax3 also, ax3 dot scatter, x3 dot scatter. Of there you can specify the values that you want to generate a scatter plot. I'm using random dot random. Here we can take some other data, like let's generate values by using arrange method. So np dot arrange of, generating 30 arrange values step by step. And this is for x-axis. For x-axis we are generating 30 values by using numpy arrange method, and for y-axis we are generating values by using random. Okay, random dot randint of 1 to 30. I want to generate again 30 values. Else you can take some other range also. 1 to 50, I want to generate 30 random values because our x is having 30 length. So you need to specify the length of values of y also 30. And finally we are going to give plt dot show. It will generate the subplots like this. So the third one is a scatter plot. So we are generating a values randomly so that it will generate a points like this. If you want to pass labels, you can pass it. Let's pass labels also, comma labels equals to label equals to, it is a line plot and it is a histogram plot. And in the histogram plot, if you observe, when you mention histogram plot, it will generate a histogram like horizontal. If you want to generate a histogram like vertical, you can generate it. So it will generate vertical. If you want to generate your histogram like horizontal, you can specify one more parameter, that is we have one more parameter like orientation. So let's see, if I pass orientation is equals to horizontal, you need to specify that horizontal in a string format. So that histogram should be generated like as a horizontal format. And here in the histogram we are mentioning totally 20 bins. So with respect to that bins, it will distribute the data. And here the color is white. And for this line plot, you will not get any kind of legend, so that you can use plt dot legend, so that you can observe that labels. Yeah, now we are getting line plot as a legend. And if you pass label, this label will point out histogram plot, hist plot, and then this dot plot is scatter plot. So like this, you can generate a kind of subplots. By using add subplot also you can generate it, but this add subplot we are getting from figure method. So we are getting this figure method. After getting the figure method, you will get this add underscore subplot to generate a subplots with respect to positions of it. Okay, am I clear all of you up to this? What about rest of them? Can you understand up to this? So bins means on, okay. So based on bins, it going to be distribute the data. So histogram will be basically, we are using this histogram to observe the distribution of data, how the data should be distributed from one point to another point. In that case, we can use this histogram. And if you don't mention these bins, defaultly the data should be distributed at 10 points. With respect to 10 points, it will distribute the data. So that means we are getting the data should be distributed as a 10 times. So you will get a kind of pulses like 10 if you don't mention the bin count. So likewise, if you want to generate a bins of, you want to distribute that data with 20 times, you can use these bins as a parameter. So that based on that count of the bins, the data should be distributed over the histogram. Okay. So that's it about the subplots creation in Matplotlib. Now we are going to see the Seaborn. So let's make a heading here, Seaborn. So Seaborn also one of the visualization tool, visualization library. So to visualize any plots in Seaborn, backend there is a matplotlib to visualize anything with the use of Seaborn means. So in the Seaborn backend there is a matplotlib to visualize something. So backend it can use matplotlib to visualize. And if you have already a matplotlib, why we are going to this Seaborn means, so by using matplotlib, we are going to plot at particular certain time only. That means matplotlib have some kind of restrictions to plot something, like it having only less colors, or it doesn't have the matplotlib basically we can use to display basic functions, but when it have a statistical functions, so the matplotlib doesn't have inbuilt libraries to deal with that, but Seaborn might have all the functionalities or inbuilt methods to display statistical functions as well. So when it have a statistical functions to display, instead of matplotlib we can use this Seaborn. So let's make it here. So Seaborn library is making statistical graphics basically. Making statistical graphics in Python. We can use this Seaborn as a most important tool. In real time, mostly we can use Seaborn only. When it comes to huge data sets, we can use mostly Seaborn. But backend in the Seaborn also, it will take matplotlib to visualize something. And you might already seen some kind of visualization tools. What are the tools you have seen to visualize plots? Visualization libraries we have like matplotlib, and the second one is Seaborn, and we have some other library also, that is and coming to visualization tools, you might already use some kind of visualization tools like Tableau or Microsoft visualization tools, and also SAS, right? So you might already use some kind of visualization tools. Basically most of the members are familiar with Tableau, I think so. When it is a when you are from communication CSE background, you might use this visualization tool Tableau. So by using Tableau you can visualize plots, you can visualize your data. Visualization tools we have is in the introduction of Matplotlib, you might already discuss these things, visualization libraries and visualization tools. We have visualization tools is Tableau, and then we have SAS. Then we have one more tool, that is Power BI. Sorry, Power BI. And the official website for Seaborn is we have, let's see the official website. So the Matplotlib also having an official website, matplotlib.pyplot.org. Let's see Seaborn official website. Yeah, the Seaborn official website is seaborn.pydata.org. I'm going to mention this URL for you. So if you have any doubts regarding the Seaborn, you just go through that website, and there you can observe all the kind of examples, as well as codings, as well as material, all those things you will get. How to install it, and tutorial also there, API reference also there. You just go through this website when you have any kind of doubts. Okay, so the official website for Seaborn is seaborn.pydata.org, and for Matplotlib, let's see what is that. Matplotlib. Yeah, matplotlib.org. For Matplotlib, you have an official website, that is matplotlib.org. I'm going to mention the URL for you. Okay, if you have any doubts, you just go through this website and try to search any kind of thing, so that you will get more and more knowledge. Okay, don't stick to only one website, try to search. So by using Seaborn, we are going to visualize something, and backend in the Seaborn also, it takes Matplotlib to visualize anything. Now let's see if you want to install. So because Seaborn is a package, so with that Seaborn you can visualize it. So if when you use some other IDEs to use this Seaborn, you need to install it manually, because we are using Anaconda. So Anaconda might have all this library. But if you are using some other IDEs, you need to install it manually, and it is a Python package. So you can use pip space install space that particular name, library name. So you can use pip space install space Seaborn. So it will automatically collect the packages from the browser, and it's going to be installed you in your system. But if you are using Jupyter, so it might be already there in your Anaconda environment variables. So you don't need to install it manually. You just import it directly. Okay. But you should know how to install any kind of Python packages. When it is a Python package, you just use pip space install and then respected package. And see, from my side, it is already there, so I might get like a requirement already satisfied. And when you use pip space install space Seaborn, it will collect the packages from browser. So you need to connect. You need to connect your system to internet, so that this command should be executed. Okay, like this you can install your Seaborn, and after installing your Seaborn, if you want to check with the version, you can check it. So let's see Seaborn dot underscore version. So Seaborn is not defined. We need to import it, right? So that you can access it. So import Seaborn. Yeah, after installing Seaborn, you need to import. Before using it, you need to import it with the import keyword. And after that, you just give underscore version. It will gives you the version of that particular package. So here I have a Seaborn package 0.11.0. For you, it might be different. That's okay. Okay. Had you all import the Seaborn? Had you all import the Seaborn? Yeah. So instead of using every time Seaborn dot, instead of calling the methods with respect to Seaborn dot particular method, I'm just assigning some alias name for this Seaborn, like SNS. So in our real time, most of the members are using SNS as a variable name that point out Seaborn. So we can use Seaborn as SNS. Okay, Seaborn as SNS. So after that, if you want to know the inbuilt methods of it, you can use dir of SNS. It will gives you the inbuilt methods. So it is having some kind of fast grid, join grid, paired grid, some of the built-ins. These are all automatically generated, like version, file, loader name. So with this underscore version only, we'll get the version of your Seaborn. And you will get some kind of cat plot, box plot, color palette, colors, count plot. These are all the inbuilt methods. So out of the methods, we can mostly use all of those. So let's see one by one. Not all of those. We can mostly use a kind of all parameters. I think so. Let's see. So by using Seaborn, we can mostly generate a kind of different colors as compared to Matplotlib. Matplotlib will restricted to some kind of colors only. Let's see what are the colors ones. Plt dot plot of. Let's see the description. In the description, you will get the supported colors that can offered by Matplotlib. Let's see the colors once. You just drag it to down. Plot parameters. Initial parameters is x and y, and the next one is fmt data, and is that keyword arguments, properties, markers, scatter. It doesn't have color parameter, so it will gives you the supported type of markers. It can support dots, commas, row, v, greater than 1 2 3 4 5, yes also. Where is this line styles? Line styles also. It will support the line styles like underscore, double underscore, all those things. Sample format strings, colors. Yeah, in the bottom you can get the colors. So the Matplotlib will basically it will generate the colors with these possibilities only, like blue or green or red and cyan, magenta, yellow, and black and white. So we have only these possibilities of colors in the Matplotlib. To visualize any plot, we can use any of these colors only. So, but in the Seaborn, we have so many colors, and with that, we can use any of the color that we want. So, let's see what are the colors that they have. If you want to know the inbuilt colors of Seaborn that can offer, you can use one method that is color underscore palette. Where it is there? Yeah, here it is. So we can use this method color underscore palette that will gives you the possibilities of colors. Defaultly it will generate 10 combination of colors. Let's see, we are already generating we are already importing the Seaborn with SNS, so you can use SNS dot, you can pass color, and then you can select one method that is color underscore palette and give parenthesis and just run it. When you pass color underscore palette, it will generate the colors with the possibilities of like this, and you can observe all this. So you can observe this is the end middle point. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, totally it will generate 10 colors. So from starting to 5 it is a dark colors. From the first position to fifth position, all the colors are dark colors, and the next 5 are light version of this first colors. Again you can observe at the first position, you can observe this blue is a thick blue, and at the ending you can observe it is a light blue. And here also you can observe in the second position you can observe orange, thick orange, and in the left side you can observe a light orange. And with these possibilities only, the starting range should be thick and the ending range should be some kind of light version. So with these possibilities only, we're going to generate n number of colors by using Seaborn. Okay, n number of colors Seaborn. So now let's see, if you want to generate your own color, you can use Seaborn dot. See, when you use SNS dot color underscore palette, it will generate some color. But when you after uploading this file into GitHub, you might not get to observe this kind of colors. So if you want to display these colors as a, if you want to visualize these colors after running these cells, also you can use one plot, that is pale plot. That plot will you get from Matplotlib, I think so. Pale plot. You can pass plt dot pale plot of. So it doesn't have pale plot. Let's use SNS dot. Yeah, you can use SNS dot pale plot. Why I'm using pale plot means this pale plot is one kind of plot. With that plot, you are going to visualize the colors of a plot. So that colors will you get from the color underscore palette. So you might hear this term called palette. What is this palette term defines? What it signifies? Respond me. What is palette? it is a kind of object that might have all mixed colors. Okay, palette means it is a kind of object. With that object, you can use all the colors, mixed colors. See, you can observe one thing while drawing. You can observe one thing like palette. So if I give palette, yeah, you can see this kind of object can be called as a palette. Okay, so with respect to this object, it is having some kind of inbuilt colors. You can mix the color. While mixing it, you can generate again a new color. Like this, you can create n number of colors with the having of inbuilt colors by using C1. Okay, so and why I'm using pale plot means after running this cell, that means after running this after updating this file into GitHub, you might not get to observe this kind of colors in the file. So if you want to observe these colors also, you can use pale plot so that you will not lose this kind of colors at the output side, so that you can observe it. This pale plot is a kind of plot. It will display a kind of colors. To visualize something, you can use pale plot. So with that, you can observe all the colors at the output side. Okay. If you don't mention this pale plot also, you'll get the colors by using SNS color underscore palette. But it's not going to be visualize you after updating this file in GitHub. You can observe only a kind of picture image form, but you will not get these colors. So instead of that, if you want to observe the colors, you can use pale plot so that the colors also get be observed. Now, if you see here in the color underscore palette, you will get a 10 colors defaultly, and instead of the 10 colors, if you want to generate a fixed number of colors, you can use one more parameter, that is n underscore colors. You can use one more parameter, that is n underscore colors. So with that n underscore colors, you can pass that number of colors that you want to specify here. So I just want to get only 5 colors from this color underscore palette. So I can use 5 as my color. Now you will get only 5 colors, and try to pass other numbers and try to observe the colors once, all of you. After this, you just pass. Okay, so by using n underscore colors, you can specify the number of colors that you want. If you specify that 5 means, it will get you the first 5 occurrences of that color underscore palette colors. From this color underscore palette, you will get the first 5 occurrences. And if I specify 15, you will get the 15 possibilities of colors. See, you will get the first 15 possibilities of colors like this. After 10, this color should be repeated, I think so. After 10 combinations, again this color should be repeated. Like this, you can generate n number of colors based on n underscore colors parameter. And also we have some other parameter. Let's see what are those. Let's make just give shift tab. It will gives you parameters. It doesn't show you any kind of parameters. It have only path and then size. So it will gives you the description about the pile plot. I just want to get the description about color palette. So let's remove it. Now you can see after removing that pale plot, you will get some kind of palette and n underscore colors and as CMAP equals to false. You should know what is this as CMAP also. And if you see as CMOP parameters, as CMOP will takes a kind of Boolean data, either true or false. When you make as CMOP is a true, it will returns a matplotlib colors color map. So defaultly, so the Seaborn having as CMOP as a color palette having defaultly is a false. So based on that, it will generate Seaborn colors. But in some point of time, if you want to generate matplotlib colors combination, you can use as CMAP as underscore CMAP, and you can make it as true so that you can observe colors of matplotlib. Sns.paraplot, so that you can observe colors of matplotlib. That means it will generate all dark colors like this. So if I mention n underscore colors as 15, it will generate only 10, I think so. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So defaultly this by using CMAP equals to true, it will generate only 10 possibilities of colors. I make it as false. Default it is a false, I think. So when it is true, it will generate only 10, but when you make it CMAP as a false, it will generate 15 colors. We can mostly use this as CMAP color. If I don't mention the colors, let's observe. So it will generate again 10 colors, default 10 colors. If I make it as true, so you can observe the changes is a little bit difference. Like when you use false, it will generate kind of colors. The colors are same, but the intensity of the colors is differ. You just observe the change once. Intensity of the color is changed when you use as CMAP parameter. If I make as CMAP equals to true, a little bit difference between these. So that is the intensity of the colors. But here, if you see, there is no difference. When you make as CMAP equals to, if true, returns colors combinations of matplotlib colors, and defaultly it is having false. So it will take colors from Seaborn. But when you mention as CMAP equals to true, means it will return matplotlib color map. So that is the difference. But most of the colors are same. But when you use some other combinations, you will get observe the difference between the CMAP colors of Seaborn and CMAP colors of matplotlib. Okay, so like this you can generate a colors, and if you want to generate your own color, you can generate it like palplot. You can mention the color palette inside this. So for that we can use color palette, color underscore palette, and if you want to generate your own color combination, you can specify it. I just want to generate my own color, that is red. So for that you can specify RD. So when you specify RD, it will raise an error, and it can support valid parameters or valid colors. So those are these combinations. These are all the combinations that can required. So RD means you need to specify like capital RD, I think so. If I make it as capital RD, that is also not support. Right. Okay, let's pick up any one value from this. RD is not valid, and I or rainbow rocket. We have, out of this we have only these possibilities with our rainbow red, and rocket red, and seismic, color. So these are, and if your color, let's see what is it displays. If you make error, it will tells you the supported values. VUVR. Okay, we have RD and PU. So red purple combination, I think so. When you want to generate your own red purple combination colors, you can specify RD and PU. So it will generate the colors which can start from red to purple. Red to purple, it will generate the color combination. And there if you specify as CMOP as underscore CMAP. All blur doesn't have. So this as CMAP is a attribute for this color palette. Object type of linear segmentation color map has no length. Yeah, when it is a length of data, you can specify as the CMAP, but it is already we are mentioning exact color, so it doesn't have length. So it can generate your own color combination like this. A kind of you can specify the combination of colors like RD and PU means it will generate red to purple combination of colors. And next, if you want to generate so next we have a method like C. Let's pass one more parameter. That is inside the color palette. You can specify C. Let's take some other color like PU and then BU. This is also a value. So purple to blue. I think it will generate purple to blue color combination. Value error. It doesn't take PU BU key. So BU is capital, small. Yeah. So it will generate color combination from purple to blue. So like this, you can take any other values and you can observe the color difference which can generate from purple to blue and red to purple like this. And we have a kind of one method applying a styles to this. So let's see, for applying a styles, we have a method like cbond dot set underscore style. So style. So this style will take say 4 attributes. So one is like white, and then black and black grid and white grid. So this will use to visualize something. So when it comes to basics, you might think where we can use it, but when it comes to application point of view, based on our application, we can use these visualization tools. Yeah, when you use like this, it will write the style must be. So style will take these kind of parameters only. So when I mentioned black, it doesn't have black to set it, and this style will takes only this type of possibilities. So it can take either white, style as white, dark and white grid, dark grid and ticks. If I make style as dark, you can observe this entire plot background or having style with dark. So it can take a kind of dark, and if I apply white grid, it will apply a white grid style of it. So it will backend, it will apply some kind of grid to it. The background style we are applying some kind of white grid, that means it will apply a kind of white grid. And if you change dark grid, this style with dark grid, you can observe a backend that going to be apply some kind of styles. So when it comes to visualize data with data set, you can observe all these things clearly. So by tomorrow we can take one data set. With that data set, we can apply all these styles and color palettes, all those things. Okay. And next we have one method. With that method, you can create you can create your sequential colors from low range to high range. So that method is cube helix. So SNS dot cube helix. So this can be called as a sequential color formats. So it is called as a sequential colors. So in that the color should be starting with from low range to high range. So let's take low range as -1 and high range as +1. So like this, the data should be varied. In the cube helix, it will generate some kind of sequential colors from a low to high range. So you can specify that ranges that you want. If I mention cube helix, so now you can observe the cube helix defaultly takes this kind of color combination, and the starting color should having some kind of low intensity, and the ending color should have highest intensity. Okay, by using cube helix also you can generate number of colors that you want. For that you can just specify n underscore colors parameter over here, n underscore colors. And if you want to generate only 3 colors from cube helix format, you can generate like this. And defaultly this cube helix palette will generate only 6 colors, 6 color combinations. And if you want to generate 10 possibilities, 10 possibility of colors, you can mention 10. So it will generate the colors ranges from low to high with 10 chances, 10 values, 10 color combinations from low to high. Okay, so and also you can get this colors reverse order, in the order of reverse. Like at initial time we want to get the dark color as a first one and light color as a last one. In that case you just pass one more parameter, that is reverse. You can make reverse equals to true, so that the color should be generated in the reverse order. And you can observe the dark color will get you on the first index starting position, and the light colors will get you on the ending position. And also we have one more parameter in the cube helix, that is hue. So based on hue you can control your intensity of your colors. So we have one more parameter. So based on hue you can control your intensity of your colors. If I make 0.5, so the intensity of color is similar like this. You will get the intensity of color like this. So defaultly the color intensities are like this. And when you make hue parameter as 0.5, you will get to observe the intensity is slightly decreased. And if I make hue parameter as 1, you will get to observe intensity as dark as they want, like this. Mostly the result is same. When you don't mention hue parameter, defaultly hue is having 1, the intensity is high. So based on the hue parameter you can control your intensity. If I mention 0.7, you will get like this. If I mention 0.1, you will get a low intensity of your colors. Okay, when you see these colors as when you see before applying hue parameter, the starting color can be look like a dark purple or dark blue. But when you apply hue parameter as 0.1, the backend initially it is a combination from black. You can observe that. Okay, so based on hue you can observe the intensity of colors. And also you can create your own custom color palettes. You can create your own custom color palettes. For that we have a supported parameters. Let's see what are those. You can create your own custom palettes. So for that we have a light underscore palette. So with this you can create light color combinations. Light underscore palette is there. So with this light underscore palette you can create light color combinations of color. And inside this light underscore palette you can specify which color do you want to generate. If I mention as red, so it will generate the combination from low to dark of this red. Okay, it will generate a color palette from light to dark with the light underscore palette method. And also you can specify the possibilities of colors, number of colors that you want to generate. You can use n underscore colors. So if I want to generate 7 possibilities of colors by using light underscore palette, you can use 7. It will generate 7 possibilities of colors from low to dark like this. And if you want to reverse it, you can reverse it by passing new parameter, that is reverse equals to true. Reverse equals to true. Okay, the entire color should be reversed, like we are getting dark color as the initial and light color as the ending. And we have some other method to create your own custom color. That is, if you want to create a dark color combinations, you can use sns.dark_palette to create a dark colors. And here if I pass black, let's say is there black. Yeah, when you mention this black, it will generate dark colors, dark color combinations. By passing dark color palette, it will generate dark color combinations. If I mention some other color like blue, it will generate colors combination from dark to low, like this. Okay, and if you want to get a number of colors, you can pass n_colors. If I want to generate only 5, you can mention that. Okay, so like this you can create your own custom color palettes. And let's see, in the cube helix we want to apply as CMap method, cube helix as underscore CMap equals to 1. So it will generate an object. When you use cube helix of palette, it will generate an object, but we want to get that color palette. So you can use SNS and SNS.PalePlot to visualize it. After creating an object, you can apply the PalePlot so that object type of listed color map has no length. So it doesn't have length. So we don't want to pass this. We have so much of possibilities. With this, we can create n_colors, n number of colors. Okay. And in the PalePlot, you can specify some other attributes like start value and end value, rotational value. That means from what value you want to start, which intensity you want to start, from second to 1 or 10 to 1. You can specify any one thing. So let's see how to apply that start and end parameters also. SNS dot PalePlot of So I want to use PalePlot to display my color palettes. So it gives you colors. Dot color_palette equals to, and then you can specify start value. If I mention it is a kind of color format CH, and then you can specify color format like 2. I want to start with 2, and you can specify in the right side or left side. You can specify the colors format with right and the left side also. It is a kind of attributes, does it take defaultly. So right side you can specify with the intensity of 2 equals to 0.2 intensity, and we have L left side also you can specify 2. So that means color palette will generate only light to low, low to high or high to low. In that cases you can observe low to high or high to low, but sometimes if you want to generate a colors with same kind of possibilities, that means all the time you want to get to go only dark, means you can specify right left side intensities. So if I change my lights L value as 1, again you can observe on the right side you can get only dark values, and the left side you will get dark values, right side you will get some kind of color variation is there. If I make it as again 5, if I make it as 0.5, you can observe the default color should be varied. So right side you will get dark color, and the left side you will get light version of colors. So like that you can pass the colors that you want to specify. So if you want to know more about these supported attributes, you just go through this documentation over here, or else you can just open the Seaborn library, and after opening it, try to open the Seaborn library. After opening it, on the top you will get one kind of search bar. So in the search bar, you just type like, if I want to know more about color_palette, you can type that method here. Okay, you just type color_palette, and it will gives you the related results. So so here you can get cbond.color_palette and color_palette. So wherever that color_palette will get there, that result should be get to you. So you just click on one thing that you want, and after that you can observe. So it will tells you entire documentation, that parameters that can support it. So it defaultly takes palette. So palette may be defaultly none. So when you don't mention anything, it will generates a default 10 color combination, or else it will takes a combination of string, either red, blue, or something. And also sequential. So sequential means some kind of cube helix format, sequential parameters. And optional, optional, if we don't mention anything, it is also optional. And also we can specify an underscore colors. And also one more parameter, that is desert. So by using this desert, you can create proportional to desaturation each color by. We can desaturate the color by using desat parameter. So with this desat parameter, you can desaturate your color. Okay, and also CMap as a parameter, it can takes only data type of bool, either true or false. When it is true means it will take the colors of matplotlib. Defaultly it takes only Seaborn colors, that's why it is defaultly having false. And also in the bottom you will get to observe some kind of examples, like colors that can supports and number of colors. If you mention 9 means it will gives you n underscore colors as a 9. So like this you can get a kind of more description in the main website of Seaborn. So like this you can explore that you want in the main website. Okay, yeah, that's it about the today's session. So if you have any doubts, and tomorrow we are going to see how to visualize these Seaborn plots by taking a data set. We can take one data set. With that data set, we are going to visualize some kind of plots with uses of Seaborn. Okay. Yeah, up to now we are just seeing color_palette only. Tomorrow we will see the different types of Seaborn plots. Yeah, that's it about the today's session. If you have any doubts, you can stay there and ask me your doubts. Otherwise, you can leave the meeting. Thank you, one and all.